Oh, last one today. Got a bit of bad news really, I think. We're getting a bit low on people who are in the group now. Although I said I'd keep going, you know, till there was ever anybody here, but we're getting to that stage now and it's getting a bit, because I've got my classes back and my workshops are all coming back. Demonstrations, I'm doing like did four this week, and then with my classes as well. And I couldn't do any today. I've only got Thursday and Friday free now, more or less. And some of them I won't be able to do in a bit because I'll be travelling. So we're going over to Yorkshire for a weekend. We've got Hornsey Art Show Festival, which is a weekend job, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're going to Bidlington as well, which is near it. And I'm also going to Driffield. We're all further up the other side of on the east coast. So I won't be able to do any of that week. So it's getting a bit difficult to do, although they're only 1 hour and I could do them any time. So this probably, I think, unless we start getting people coming back, it's going to be the last 12 I'll be doing, I think. Which is a shame. It's provided a service and it's you know, it's had its time. I will keep going online. I'll start to really look at ways of making, you know, keeping an income coming from it, because I've loads and loads of videos now that we've had on. They're all downloaded to my computer as well. You will be able to find some of them on YouTube. So the next stage is to get an income from people paying to have the YouTube link. Okay, but yeah, I think the group one now, although we're down to like, we will be down to 7 or 8. Might be less than that actually. So I'm thinking of this would be the last 12 classes. Okay. Anyway, we'll carry on, and I'd like to thank everybody who's kind of been with me through this kind of journey into the unknown online world. I hadn't a clue what I was doing at the beginning, and then I've had to learn quite quickly. I've really enjoyed it actually, and I know some of you have because of your comments. But yeah, I think it's going to have had its day. Now COVID seems to be under control. It's time to kind of move on. Anyway, I thought we'd do an easy one today. I don't like doing easy ones. I like a challenge, but it's not an easy one. I know that. We like a challenge, so I'm going to sketch out the image, which is not easy to sketch. I mean, if anyone's done horses, they'll know that it's quite difficult, especially the legs. You have to kind of do all the shapes and the negative space inside the legs, and sometimes that just doesn't look right because you either make the legs too thick, too wide, too thin, too short, you know, one or any of those, which is quite easy to do. So we're going to sketch him out. He's got a rider. You know, we've had this lovely racing week at Cheltenham, so we've done horses a couple of times this week, and we thought we'd do one in watercolour just to see off Cheltenham and get ready for Ascot. So yeah, we'll do this one, get ready for the Grand National. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so I got my palette ready. We've got yellow in this, and we've got sienna, we've got alizarin, we've got cerulean blue. The background's dark in places and then it's light in other places. We've got nice things going on. Before we do any of that, we're going to sketch it out. So I've got my colours ready. Just adding a bit of water, because you're always better to add water to your pigments if they're not tacky. You want to kind of make them tacky so that you can pick pure pigment up, okay? And then when it's tacky, you can use thicker paint towards the end as well. But first things first, we need to sketch him out. Alright, now the paper's portrait, and I've actually portrait. Shut this curtain a bit. Actually portrait, so we've got a nice big image. Okay, now because I'm starting with a head, because the jockey's there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's about 8 heads. So we need to make sure we've got everything on. So I'm going to put his head in first, just to give him proportion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see, so we should be able to get him on easy. Now if I start with the head, which is just off centre, to do a centre line, it's just off centre, and then from the top of that, and because I'm using pencil, we use lots of little lines, and then I'm just creating angles, so I can see the angle of the back, I can see the shoulders here which come through to the other side, then the angle of that arm, and then it comes forward like that. You see? So each angle and shape creates excuse me, creates the figure. So we've got the hat, it's Japanese racing guy, I think, with his lovely specs, with his glasses on. We can just see his nose and we can just see his mouth. So we've just got that little shape we can draw in. That's his shirt coming up, and then the creases in the shirt as well, like that. And this hand which is coming off at an angle around about there. And it's foreshortened, so it's, you've got the glove and you can just see 2 fingers, okay, holding the reins. This is a nice shape for the back of his head. It's a very old-fashioned helmet, it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks like something from World War I. Anyway, we've got this angle and the shape of his hood. Now this one is the shoulder. I've got this angle for the arm coming this way. So it's just got a little bit of drawing the figure. Now just there I can see a negative space, which is actually the leg of the jockey. And that leads me to the horses here, okay. Now I've done it this way because I want to get the jockey on, for instance, but I also want to get the shape of the horse correct in the right place. So that's the hand which disappears now into this shadow just behind this horse's neck. Okay, and then from that I get the curve of the cover that they put on the back of the horse. Now I can concentrate on the head of the horse, yeah, and the negative space between the arm and that ear. Can you see? So we've got the head, we've got the top of the head there, and that's where the strap is going, part of the bridle, and then we've got this lovely white area in the middle, okay. But from that we get the eye, which comes out and protrudes, something like that on that side. Keep the angle the same, and then we get the eye on this side doing the same thing. Curves in, curves out, like that. Nice and dark with a curve underneath. Alright, and a bit of a shadow here. But the more time you spend kind of sketching him, the better he's going to look at the end. So, you know, just nothing, you don't need to be spot on, but it's just having a feeling for the shape of things, because that's the horse's head, and when you look at horses' heads, they got this lovely angle, yeah, and it's quite big compared to his head. We can use his head 1, 1, 2.5, so it's 2.5 heads from here. That's 1, 2, 2.5, something like that. So you're going up to there with the nose coming out, and then same here, because he's running, he's breathing kind of heavy. Then you get the front of the mouth. So this is this shape from the eye to the on the muzzle, and then the front of the nose, which you get a flat shape there, like that, and it's just a flat shape of the mouth. From that, we get the front of the horse, which is a rectangle. Okay, we've got this lovely kind of rectangle shape. It goes in here, and then it goes in, it comes out again. So we've got a square area, which you can actually see where the sun's hitting it, and it's got a shape in the middle where the muscle tone changes. So from there we've got this shape inside that leg, and then we've got the underside of the chest. Yeah, but from this leg, which comes this way, and then we got a knuckle. We do the same thing with animals that we do with human beings. We put knuckles and we put knees and we put shapes in, because that gives you that shape. You see that gives you the hoof there. So we've got the hoof just coming out, and then what we need to do is to start drawing the shapes of the leg around that. Can you see? So where the knees, the elbows, the knuckles, whatever they call them on a horse, I don't know what they call them, rubbish. And we get the same kind of shapes, but we've got this lovely muscle at the top that comes out to the leg. Can you see? So yeah, that's really nice. It's like a figure that you know, the wooden, what they call them, the wooden figures. We do it with the horses. You can get horse ones as well, but if you treat it like lines first and then shapes. So from this side we've got this under chest here, and then this leg goes in, then it comes at this angle, and that's where I get my like chop shape, if you know. But if we draw a line across, that's where you get the next knee. Okay, but because this leg is coming forward, we've got that angle. You can measure it with your pencil. And then we've got the ankle, same thing, about the same size, and then from the ankle we've got a lovely shape of the hoof. Okay, this other leg's going to be about here. So actually I overcompensated with the head, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to get it in anyway. So we got the hoof, it's just coming forward. Okay, so from that we can connect things up. We can draw the muscle there, then the bony part of the knee, because the knees are quite bony, and then we go down to the ankle, and then we go down into the forelock and all this, what do they call it. From this side we do the same. Keep the thinness of that leg. You see the thickness here? Very thin. And keep that angular shape just underneath the ankle. So that is my negative space. So really that's what I want to create, is that shape between this leg and that leg. You can make it a little bit bigger if you want to, because it's nearer. Okay, so a little bit of time spending drawing the horse. Then we can look at the shape of this. I mean, this is going backwards, the cover on the horse, but we've also got the shape of the belly, but we've also got the shape of this muscle here that comes all the way down here and then goes into the muscle on top of the leg there, which is giving you that shape like that. Okay, so all that's quite nice to draw. This angle straight from the back here all the way down, and it's on level with this, more or less. So we draw a line across, sorry, it's on level, it's actually touching the floor there. So if I draw a straight line, look at the distance, I need to create that distance between there and here, okay? And that is my straight line for that leg. So all I have to do now is do the same kind of thing. Look at where the angle or the shape of the knee is. We can see this one is actually in the dirt. It's the hoof itself is in the dirt, so it's quite low down. But we've got the thing, something like that really. It's a bit back from this one. Can you see the angle you're getting? And it's quite near. But from this then we get the shape of that, the hindquarters. So we get like over, what do you call it? Foreshortening. It's the same kind of thing with a horse, because you get one muscle overlapping the other. Okay. So as we're coming in from here, we're getting the sunlight there, which is the negative space. Then we get the thinness of the leg as it comes out here. We get that. It should be here actually. Yeah. So we should be there. So we're coming out to that. Okay. So I'm a bit too high up. And this is where you'll see your changes like that. So that is that angle, and then I'm coming down a nice thin. There we're going down to the beautiful ankle. Okay. So that's over, and that's going that way. So I've pressed on quite a little bit there. This is the shadow that comes down to here and it goes that way, and this is this shape in front of the horse. So from here we get a nice, that's the harness, and we get a nice shadow going that way, and then it kind of softens off here, goes around there, and we get the same kind of shapes under there, and then this thickness, this angle for that. Just here we can just see the other leg, and it's just peeping out, and we've got the hoof, and that's all we've got, and it nearly touches this one actually, and so we can just see that hoof and that hoof there, and then we get that shape at the back, because it's like a shape back at the back, and that's coming from here, so we have to make it look like it's got that angle to it. We can't see it because it's behind the horse. Okay. I've probably come up a little bit too far out with that, but that should be okay. That's it. We've just got the leg, so we've got the guy's elbow here, but we've got the leg coming from his elbow. So we've got these boots, and we can just see the stirrup and the boot going through the stirrup. And see, just like that. Weird shapes, weird. Some stripes on his top, cerulean blue, and we're going to sketch it out in pen. I think we're better doing it in pen, make it stand out. So I've got a button on the top of his helmet there, a thin line there, one here, and that's the sign. So when we sketch to make things, put things in position, and then when we're happy with position, we use the pen to verify where things go. And also we get this lovely kind of shadow on his the side of his neck, which actually turns into one tone. This is what makes things interesting. You don't need to bother about this at the back if you don't want. It's his whip. They kind of make things interesting because one shadow links into another. Then you get his arm like that, which comes this way with the hand holding the other side of the rein. This is the inside of his, this is the chest, and this is the inside of his leg going behind that horse's ear. And then this is where we get the mane, and then the other ear, and then the harness coming across the head. Okay, like a big jigsaw puzzle. keep it nice and loose as well if you can help it. Don't go too detailed too soon. Keep it loose. Try and create movement. You know, the looser your line, the more movement you're going to create. Some bits disappear, like I said. So we can, like, we've got the harness there, and then we're coming down this. This can be our shadow, and then the cover on the back of the horse, and then that's going into a lovely. We've got a number 2 there. If you want to put the 2 in, you've just got the shape of it, haven't we? It's quite interesting. You can put that in, and a square bit. Anything you want. Because I'm quite happy with my sketch, I'm going to just put in little bits of information that are going to help me with shadows and where things are. Okay, so the eye right there, the shape of its markings, same thing here, nice and bony where the eyes are. Okay, and that's coming forward there. You get the shape of the harness again. Oh, don't make it too narrow, that. Don't make it too big. Just put the mouth in. You can see the mouth, the front of the muzzle and the shadows, and then you've got this harness there. Keep it nice and loose. That's the shadow too. So then we come from here and we go around that leg angle. Same here. Sometimes it helps just to be a little bit on the cautious side. So if you think it's too big, make it a bit smaller, because when you paint it, you can always make it bigger. Okay. So err on the side of caution. But if you make things too small, it's more difficult to paint later. Am I right there? Am I wrong? Anyway, that's the point. So we got the forelocks, that lovely white light on the leg, the back of this leg coming down to the kind of really bony bits, these, where the ankles and knees are. Yeah. Curve, stomach, curve, leg, forelock. That goes that way, then we get this lovely shadow, it creates that space, got light there than this. Yeah. And that gives you that angle for the knee. And again, keep that leg coming forward, a little bit bony. And then the shape of the hoof, something like that. This one, just the same, and it's in the background. And that's in the floor. We can do a bit of splattering, get it on the floor. Any markings that you want to do on this, the stripes in his arms and his shirt, it's fine. This is negative space, so we can paint that dark. This is the marking on his shirt. No shadows, so that's good, is it? Doesn't matter. There's no shadows on the floor. You could actually make shadows if you wanted to. Coming away from it, because the sun's shining from the front, so all the shadows will be going backwards, won't they? Joining up somewhere. Okay, up. So that's sketched it. I hope you can see it. Tried to zoom in a little bit. I'm very low down with the camera, you see, because I'm on watercolour. So just have a little bit of, take it up a bit, I suppose. It's better, it's a little bit lighter. There we can zoom in. Zoom in a bit and go up. Never been this side of the camera, I'm always on the other side. Anyway, we'll look at that and then we'll paint. Now you can rub out your pencil if you want to. Yeah. We don't have to, you can leave it rustic. I like the word rustic. I like having rustic things. It's a drawing, nice drawing, sketch, and then it turns into a lovely kind of painting, we hope. So it's interpretation of what you're actually looking at. The legs are quite nice, lovely shadows on them. So as usual, because it's watercolour, we are working from, excuse me, light to dark. We need to know where the lights are, and the wands. Okay, so I'm going to do the horse first. So I've got some yellow, a little bit. I've got some burnt sienna. It's the majority of the horse is this lovely burnt sienna and a touch of blue. We've got some ultramarine, which I'm going to mix, because the ultramarine is going to be I don't think I'll be using salt. I don't know much about that actually. And we want to darken. So we've got these lovely warms. Like we've got the light catching here. I need to blood out. We've got light there. We've got light here. We've got this lovely shape of yellow. Things like that. And then the dark in there. Painting later. So get your yellow, get your blue, get your sienna. We'll use a bit of alizarin too because he's got some of that in his clothing, and we also need some cerulean blue because he's got some of that in his clothing. So a bit of time just working on the horse and the rider first, yeah. I know this. We've got this light just catching this kind of bridle, and the way it catches here, and the light on this horse is it's the muzzle, around that, and the front a little bit, and then down we've got some lovely yellow there, so we can lighten that. Nice yellow harness. Keep that white that bit, and then keep some siennas there. We've got this nice highlight just there and in the corner of the leg, and then we get some on the knuckly bit. We've got this lovely light here in the chest. I know we've got purple there, but I haven't put that in, but we can paint that later if we wanted to. It's all about what you want to do, yeah. And then the inside of the leg, and this beautiful light here, just coming from the belly down. Okay, like that, which actually changes into burnt sienna, you can see, like that. We've got a lovely light, it goes into sienna, and then it goes dark, so we can darken that. I'll tear that down and just stop it near the ankle of the horse. These need to go slightly deeper, darker tones, especially around where the siennas are. And then we're going to use this lovely warm colour of sienna in between the yellow, hopefully, just to give us some shiny reflections, shiny lights on it. And so we're going a little bit darker with the sienna, okay? And we can use this in his hair, his mane, sorry. His ear, the top of the harness. It's a little bit of sienna, and then the head. Yeah. So with no yellow in it, we just want the sienna. And top of that, around this beautiful marking, which goes slightly darker down the nose, and then slightly darker on these side shapes and the front of the muzzle. This is going to be very nice tone coming from the neck, like that, and the light on the neck. And as we're coming around here, we're going a little bit darker. I'm putting in first with sienna, and then I'm going to start adding some darker tone because we need that to dry. Okay? We need it to dry off quite a bit because that's quite dark there. So while that's drying, a little bit. Got some sienna here down the leg and a bit at the bottom. We can go darker with them. Take your blobs out. Take the blobs out. Don't have too much yellow. We don't want the blobs because you'll end up with big blobby shapes. And that alizarini sienna, which is our next shape. So we're coming in from the shadows underneath the stomach, the belly, and then we're coming in from here where it's darker. But like I said, we need this to dry slightly so you can glaze over. And then the centre section there is quite dark. We can lift off because that needs to be lighter and this needs to be darker. So just keeping that alizarin and sienna, which will give you that very nice slightly darker tone, which we can lift off. So I'm just letting all that slightly blend together a bit. I've just gone a little bit darker, especially on where the knees are and things like that, and then you've got the top of the leg and you know. We can finish other things off later. The side of the horse's head, something like that, where the eye is. Take the blobs out, and then underneath there it's nice and dark, and then on top a bit, and then underneath, and then that bit. Okay, so you're getting really nice lights. I said I was going to use a bit of salt. I don't know if I should or not, but I think I will, just because it could be actually it's great when you use it with grey horses, because you get that mottled grey effect, don't you? And just whilst I'm here, I'm going to add a bit of blue to my sienna and come from here, because I want this to go into shadow a bit. So I'm going to drop the blue in and let that run a bit. It also goes dark up here and here, but sienna. A bit of blue in the alizarin, really, like that. And again, we can down all that area, down from here, excuse me, and the shadow here and there. Shadows go slightly darker on the edges of things, and then like we said before, and then they go lighter because they get reflected lights. So yeah. We can always use some good old masking fluid, yeah, so don't worry too much. So I'm using a bit of blue and red just for the shadow here, again. It turns into a purple, you see? And then that goes into shadow. We're coming from up there. I'm going to use the purple and the purple and that white for the shapes of the harness down here, purple and white. Okay. And then this goes into that lovely side leg. Take some blobs off. Give it shadow. And then from there it's bony. And it goes a little bit bonier. And then we get a nice little shadow here. Got the same thing happening there. It's alizarin and ultramarine mixed together. This is going to give you the shadows on the horse. And we've also got that lovely white area at the foot, near the ankle. So we can leave that white. We've got some darks just at the back of the ear. As you may have noticed, I haven't touched the rider yet because it's different colours. I've also left bits of the horse that I want to make darker. So I just use a little tinchy brush marks to bring out the muscle tone first. Okay, take it off, same like the program, take it off, and then we've got this lovely sienna colour again where the sun's catching it. Excuse me, around the harness. And the front of the head. Alright. Gives a golden colour. Hopefully. The top of the nose, and then we've got that shadowy bit there, which I'm going to blend that in. And then we can use a little bit of pink, purple, or the shadowy bits, because we've got that bit darker actually, a bit less water. I mean, blue and red. So as you're coming into this side bit, you've got a little bit of shadow, which comes from under the eye as well, into that nose. Again, dampen your brush and blend things. Just little shapes, just on the horse's head that you want to bring out. Okay, have another something else there. I'm going to move to my jockey. You want to be a jockey? Lovely light blue. Hardly any colour on the sleeve, then it goes in shadow a bit, so it goes a little bit darker. We've got the same things happening here. Leave some white for folds. Okay. We've also got the same blue on the back, so it's quite dark here, around our number 2. Yeah. Then we've got a lovely light. And then we've got the bit around the 2, like that. And then we've got some darker blue inside, which is about here, dark blue. And then we've got his leg, which is going into the hair, so we want to make that nice and dark. It comes forward, and let's zoom in on its own, water, and then paint the shape of his shirt. We can put the shadows in later, so just keep the lights and the folds in his shirt, and then on his sleeve, like that. Put the folds in later. Same thing on the cuff. Same here, there's light catching it there, and I can't see the rest in his arm, but we can put some in. There's some lights here as well. And then it goes darker, so I can add a bit of blue to that, because the purple goes into a bluey purple, you know what I mean? So that's nice and light there. Put it on, take it off, and then we go bluey purple, you know? So just add cerulean to it. So it got from here we go kind of shadowy. And then that goes into the dark shape of his trousers, whatever he's wearing. We've got a little left, a negative space. The head is just light. It's just sienna, really. Take the colour off. Now we've got negative space, which is very dark, yeah, around the head, which goes into the shape under his chin, top of his shoulder, and his shoulder as well. And we can take that off, take the blobs off, soften edges. Okay, and drag that into creases. Creases around his arms and anything else. Now that green, it's a kind of this colour. It's yellow and blue mixed together. It gives you a greenish tone, like that. Mainly lighter there. And then it's going darker. So towards the back here, I've got a darker kind of tone. I know you've got light coming off the helmet as well, so it goes a little bit lighter here on the top, darker at the bottom. Just indicating, really. Come back. Yeah, a lot fiddlier than we thought, wasn't it? Yes, well said. We can use the same greyish tone, a bit of yellow, a bit of blue. I mean, bird sienna does the same thing, yellow and blue. It will give you grey. Put that on the hooves. Okay. I want a bit of sienna on this leg. That's behind there as well. It's disappearing a little bit. We can make this slightly oblivious. And the darts of his trousers, so we'll use blue and red. You can add a bit of sienna to that, and then a bit more blue. This will give you a very dark kind of tone down the leg. Paint around the stroke if you want. Okay, around his arm, and then around that blue stripe. Lovely light area, light blue, something like that. I know we've got some alizarin in there, it's not easy to do. Can use some goulash later. Paint around his foot. Got that pink, alizarin, which is just coming from the back here. I got a little strip in between as well, but I'll leave that. A little strip here. And then the number 2 itself is just yellow. If it is dry behind it, that should be okay. Okie-doke. Keeping that purplish tone. This is quite nice now. What we need is to lift a little bit of colour to give us a reflection on the back of the horse and here where that muscle changes tone. Lost a bit of definition in that area. I'm going to mix some blue and red. I even haven't got purple. Got some purple actually. So I might use some purple, a touch of white for later. And I need to glaze now with more burnt sienna. Red sienna and yellow make gold. Oh yeah. So we'll look at this. Nice and strong. Lovely highlights, lovely golden tones on the horse. You can't see through it, so that's fine. We want to see through the golden tones. We don't want to put it everywhere. We just want to fill up the bits that I've not put it. And that kind of the light shining here, and then this lovely warm colour on the chest, which goes down into that shape. I also got a line there, haven't I? And that goes into that shape. Okay. This goes into that. You get that muscle tone. That disappears up here. And the light there. That's where the harness is going to be at. And then this one, the light on that leg. You can see where the muscles kind of change. Tonal value. Right. The light on this. Okay, I'm going to move away from that. Do a bit on his glasses. So all the time you're going a little bit darker. Okay, a little bit darker. Glasses, what time is it? When we do these things, it takes up a lot of time because of the detail. So I've got this horse, beautiful kind of sienna shadows which are coming from here all down this area, but then it's coming this way. That's where the harness is going to be then as well, so that needs to be, that's lighter there because it's the side of the horse. Okay, this is a bit darker again because it's underneath. We do need it to dry. We're just getting that reflected light on the horse, can you see? So now we're going bluey, alizarin, not green. What I want green for? But sienna, touch of blue. So it gives us a lovely dark, and as we get to here, we've got that strong dark. Again, that comes out. I'm going to add water to that. And that goes that way. So you can see the shadow on the bottom here as well, and then that goes around the knee and then all down the side to give you the shadow, and we need to do the same up the top. So this is a stronger, darker colour. It's going to bring out the harness and the light catching the horse where it disappears here into the shoulder of the horse. Okay, I'm a little horse. So over the jokes, folks. Oh, these are the jokes, folks. So here we got a beautiful dark right in the creases, and then all along here it goes dark, and then we get the bony bits again. You see, so now we've got to that stage where we can blend things together and put in some stronger shadows, so we can bring things out like the darks within the horse. You can put it in and just scratch it around here, the forelocks, and then at the front as well, because that's quite dark. And it's these bits that give it this lovely kind of structure, isn't it? That and that. Again, that's quite dark. And then inside, there's a few things happening there, I don't know what it is. And this hair. The dark of the eye. Keep that lovely dark eye as it curves away. I can do bit on that. The nostril, again, darkest dark we can have is, you guessed it, red and green, seldom seen, but we don't want to use green, so I'm using blue all the time. Sorry. And then here, around the harness, the way it disappears under the neck, and then a shadow that goes into the shadow here actually from the harness. And there's one there because I'm going to put that purple harness in. Excuse me. And then hooves, beautiful greys. The back leg, which is just about there, but we can see the shadow on it. And then the tones on this one, because it changes tone there and it goes darker. And this goes darker into that area. Okay. Can you hear me, mother? Who said that? Anyway. A nice start and a nice running horse. So what I'm going to do now is cry. No, it's not. I'm going to paint around the guy and the horse. It's not easy because there's a lot of drips. There's a lot of bits of detail. You can go over the back if you want to make it disappear a bit. It's fine. I'm going to add some colour just at the background. We can come from here as well. Paint that as well. Let it drip, doesn't matter. We can do some splattering later, that will create movement, won't it? The idea is not to go over anything damp. You can just, I want to keep it quite sharp on that area. And what I'm going to do is mix a bit of green with some blue, make a turquoise colour. One of my favourite colours, okay? And I'm going to drop this in because this is going to be a background of the race course actually, but as I'm coming down now, I can let the paint run. I can create textures with it. I can add more colour. I could throw salt in. Yeah. Try and use a big brush. Yeah. That's being fussy. Also hard to control, but you'll get used to it more. Big brush. Round the back of the horse, where it goes lighter actually. And then dark at the front, slightly, just to give us our shape of the rain. The rain in Spain. As long as it's wet, you can put colour in, and water. Okay? When it's dry, you're going to start taking it off. So we don't want to do that, because you end up with lots of little lines, and it looks stupid. Got a bit of salt in there. We'll use a smaller brush now, and a bit more blue, kind of pick out this lovely shape around the legs. Where you put the paint, where you put the water, it should follow suit. I put a bit there, but I've left that bit really because it deserves a little bit more care. Okay, a movement or whatever. Just put a bit of salt in there. some texture. You can do a bit of splattering as well. I'll give you big marks. Soften those. You can darken the rider, by the way, later if you want to. I'm gonna just add some turquoise up here, under here. Bluey green. Bluey green, not yellowy green, bluey green. And then we can go dark with some of the shadows, let a bit more texture. But lots of dust coming up. Alright. And what we will do, we'll have a bit of warmth down here, like that, where the dust is going to be after. Some really nice movement, whatever. Now that dry bit, quite like the gums, I love them actually. That's bringing out the top of the leg again. Put a bit of salt in here, texture that up. Got a nice movement. Stand back. Could dry it off a bit. Got my hair dry down, is it? I'm going to dry this bit here because I want to add some shadow of the horse. So I just use a bit of blue and alizarin. But mainly blue, and we can do this splattering technique and drag a shadow so it sits on the floor. Oh, not sits on the floor, but moves across the floor. Bit of splattering over the hoof. Nice darks. We can darken little bits now. Like I say, alizarin, burnt sienna, and blue make very, very strong purpley darks, which you can use for the shape of anything up here really, because they're in shadow, all down here. Drag it into there. And then we've got this lovely kind of curve from that shadow of the harness, which I'm going to put in a bit. And that bit. It's all about the shadows. That. Shadows. And that's really it, really. Nice and dark as you get down here. Nice layers on the head. Eyes. There's just a bit of shadow on this guy's glasses and his face. You can just see his ear and the back of his head. Okie doke. Let it blend in. creases on his shirt, his gloves. I've missed a bit of bluey background there, then see, that's what happens. Yeah, between the horse and his arm, and then around the harness. Needs to be there. See where that light is? You can see the harness. I'm doing all fiddly bits now. Rubbish. Bit of splattering of dust behind him. Now a little bit more on his hat, because it's quite dark here actually. It's like that. Blend the front bit in. And his whip. Stuck in his back. Shouldn't whip him. Creases. Movement. That's darker blue on the sienna a bit, because it changes tone. And it changes tone here, see, around the two. So it goes darker there. And here. Oh, there's some writing underneath, but I'm not doing that. Just pretend it's not there. And the last thing you put on is the darkest bit of all. It says reddy green. And it's actually this bit here, which is in between there, and it's also the shadow of that covering the horse. I love the curve and his boot. Okay. And the curve here. I haven't finished because I've got the purple to put in, which I have found some purple which will save me time. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to use some white and I'm going to use some purple in the white. And we're going to just start here and come along here like that. And then it goes light there, so it goes whiter. I want this white to come from here across to this area. And then from here, I'm quite low down, so I need to be lower down, higher up, but it doesn't matter. Still there, there's a bit here, and there's a big bit there went underneath the horse, which is purple. Okay, it goes purpler there, and there, and then it's quite dark here as well. And that's it, really. Bit of movement. The Grand National. Stand back. Probably little bits that need doing, like some of these shadows need to be emphasised. I do like texture, so I don't want to lose it. Just give you some movement. Okay, and turn it to the light. Take the tape off. And see what it looks like. Another horse and rider. And I'm getting a little horse. Stupid joke. About complementary colours as well, a nice blue against the yellow and purples and whatever, and it's a bit high up, needs to tilt. That's better, you can see more of the horse. Thank you for watching, And I'll see you tomorrow, because it's Indian Ink, Class 2. Okay? Same time, same place. And have a good day. See you Friday. Bye now.